Saturday morning, welcome back. Um, yeah, Saturday morning is rolled around again. We definitely appreciate everybody that keeps tuning in every Saturday morning. If that doesn't heat you up and cool you down at the same time. Yes. All right. Saturday morning has come back around, and we are going to read through some of your comments here in no particular order. Again, if your comment wasn't read, uh, maybe it was commented after the fact of the show, or for some reason moderators got a hold of your comment, which has happened, unfortunately, to some of our listeners out there. But anyway, here we go. Let's go ahead and read through this. Um, this one here is from Jeffrey Richardson. Jeffrey Richardson says, "Good morning, beautiful Smith and Wesson 22. Great uncle story. Thank you for sharing with us all." Yes, my uncle Mo. My uncle Melton was. We called him Uncle Mo. He was just a riot. He was a hoot to be around. The guy spared no expense to get a laugh. So, all right. Um, this one here is from Lead 8541. Don't forget, folks, Lead has been doing a really awesome Saturday uh, knife show, showcasing of some of his knives and stuff like that. He really got me into case knives and stuff like that, and some of the best barbecue videos. On the YouTube, man, he really does a really awesome job of just being just totally natural, organic videos of just showing, like, hey, I'm cooking this. This is what it's like, all that. So awesome stuff there, Led. I really appreciate what you do there. All right, even though I don't get around to a lot of people's videos as much as I would like to, just time, life, everything just kind of piles up on you. But it says, great looking 22. I sold mine several years ago and now regret it. We all have sold so many and regret it. I don't even want to think of all the ones that I've traded away just to get some new stuff. And I wish I still had them. I wish I had the finances so I didn't have to do that. All right, 39 minutes and 40 seconds well spent. Thank you, Led. We appreciate that. Have a great rest of your weekend. You too. James Bell, good morning. I enjoyed the story of your Uncle Milton. Sounds like you two had some good times. We sure did. Another really fun time out. I can't remember if I shared the story with it, but we went to the NRA banquet dinner one night, and that was the best one I ever attended to. Was with him, having him with my, as company going through there. That was really fun. And what that was all about on the island was the NRA was putting together these banquet dinners to supposedly benefit the town of Kona, Kailua Kona, where I used to live. Well, it's always going to be my hometown, where I'm from. Never going to forget that. But it was to benefit our town to get an actual shooting range, a legit, like, real deal shooting range, because there is none. If you can believe that, there is none. And that's what it was supposed to be. It never came to fruition. Nothing ever happened to it. Not trying to speak bad on the NRA or anything that they were trying to do or anything, but nothing ever came of it, and they kept having these dinners, and they just talked less and less about it, which was kind of disenchanting to me, I guess. All right, great review of the Model 17. I'd be proud to add it to my collection. Cheers, JW. Yes. This one here, JW, says, my Model 17 is equipped with an 8 and 3/8 barrel and TTTHTG. Sorry, I'm probably out of the loop on a lot of that. Don't know what that means. Has virtually never suffered a light firing pin strike. You know what? I'm glad to hear stuff like that because, like I said, I've had a handful of 22 revolvers, Smiths, Colts, um, Taurus, you name it, and I've had issues with every single one of them. Got rid of them all, so currently don't even have one. So that's been that. I have fairly large hands. I really like the big Smith grips on my revolvers. Yes, those I do like their I guess whatever they call it, the big service grips or something like that. I don't know what their whole technology calling identification for all that is. I have a 58 and had a 581, both as smaller Magna grips. The L frame was kind of okay, but I lent it to a thief, so it's history. Ah, that sucks. The end frame 41 has hugely improved with target stocks. Yes, I agree with you. Any of those end frames with the bigger grips on it is definitely the way to go. Although my 28 doesn't. My 28 has the standard little magnet grips on it. I don't know. I just keep them on there because it kind of separates it from the Model 29, I guess. Because anytime, that was been always my thing. Anytime I had something else that was in an end frame, I'm such a 29 fanboy, I guess. It's just always just like, I just can't get over that. 29 is just the coolest thing ever. But then I get, something else and it's like, it's an end frame, like a 25 or something like that. And I just go, man, it's not an end frame or it's not a 29. So I end up getting rid of it. The narrow groove trigger and checkered hammer, my future plan is to install the smooth target trigger. Yes, definitely agree with that. When it comes to double action revolvers, at least definitely for me, smooth triggers. The serrations, I really, I've learned to dislike that a great deal on that new Python I have. Still have it, didn't trade it away. Gonna keep that. I sacrificed way too much for that thing. But no, I wish it didn't have those serrations on it. Even though they're not as aggressive as some, it just tears your fingers up. And I mean, you try. I'm talking like going to the range and you bring. I mean, I bring a box. I'll fill up a box of some sort of ammo and just tear into it and just start going for it. So, but I guess I don't know. That's just me. This one's from Slimfire, our man Slimfire. Marty's JW, and that was a great story with your uncle. Speaking of hogs, I was traveling along Interstate 95 in South Carolina heading to Florida, and I saw maybe half dozen hogs rooting along not far from the side of the highway. That 22 revolver is nice too. Thanks, Slim. Yes. All right. And another one here from JW. Now that you're in Arizona, you got to go out beyond Saguaro Lake and hunt javelina during ham season. Yeah, but honestly, my hunting things was with my Uncle Milton. That was it. I was never really much into the hunting, but he was, and I did it with him, and that was kind of our thing. And so I never really, not opposed to it, but haven't really, I guess, been drawn to do it again. I guess it was just me and my Uncle Milton's thing. All right, this one here is from TOT. Sorry, I don't know what. TOT says Motel Hell was awesome. Yes, I used preservatives. Motel Hell is one of those really cool 80s horror films that is just like, it almost like, it's the idea more what they show in a movie, because they don't really show a whole, it's not like a gore fest. It's not like blood and spraying everywhere or anything like that. It's just more or less that implication of like, yeah, what they're doing, like they're harvesting, they're making sausage. And so it's like if the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I guess, was a motel place that sold barbecue or beef jerky and stuff to people. Yeah, beef jerky. But really cool movie. You haven't seen that? That's a really awesome movie. I saw it. For me, when I saw it, was on TNT, Joe Bob Briggs' Monster Vision. Those of you that remember that. And then, of course, running to the video cassette recorder to shove in that VHS tape and hit record. Quick, what's the channel? And hit record to make sure you taped all these things off of the television, because back in those days, it wasn't, at least for me, it wasn't as easy as I recall. Like, for me, it wasn't as easy to go out and find some of these tapes, man. I tell you, the majority of the stuff I did have was like taped from television or bootlegged or something. All right. This one here is Sean Lee. Morning, y'all. Morning, y'all. Great episode today. Too bad you had all about all your luck with 22 revolvers. Speaking of which, what is your favorite 22 revolver? Wow. That's a good question. What is my favorite 22 revolver? Being that none of them has ever worked for me. Jeez. I had a 30. Was it a 34? It's a kit gun. I had a little snubby kit gun. I let that go. It would misfire a couple of times here and there. It depended on what brand. I don't know, but it did. It had a lot of light strike issues. I kind of wish I kept it. It was a little J frame, snubby. I mean that one was really cool. Um, I grew up. My first real handguns I ever shot was 222 revolvers. One was a Colt, one was Smith and Wesson. So those two have always kind of had a soft spot for me. And I'm a traditionalist. I like the 6 rounds, so it would have to be something along that. Although I do miss that little kit gun, so probably that little kit gun. I really like that thing. I should have kept it. I can't remember what the heck I got rid of it for. Something. I shouldn't have done it. But yeah, it is what it is. I can always find another one. All right. Joe P, my man Joe P, swig of coffee for Joe and all the working class stiffs out there, the 9 to 5ers. Even though if you're retired from it, hopefully you could retire and you're making it by and at least being able to enjoy things to an extent. My mother recently retired and she's having a real hard time living off of the retirement. What you do get. So, but yeah, all of us working stiffs, man. I tell you, with that paycheck that just never seems to make the ends meet at the end of the month. I'm definitely one of you. I have refrained from acquiring firearms because of that. So I think even Crazy Scotsman spoke about that. I guess in a sense I'm lucky to still have connections and people that are in the biz that can help me out if I really want it. But yeah, it's been rough. It really has been. Purchasing something new or something like that is really the last thing on the list. And what I mean by that too is like when you talk about, at least for me, you're talking about making $1,000, drop on a 1911 or something. For me, it's just like right now, just like totally out of the question. I'm just not really going to do it. I think I'd just rather keep the money in the account because things are coming up. Look, I've had back issues. Dental insurance doesn't cover as much as it used to, so you're still out of pocket a lot of that kind of stuff. If your car needs to be worked on, you got to be able to fix these things. So, all that kind of fun stuff, always an escrow shortage in your mortgage and all that crap. Okay. Joe P says, good morning, JW. I own 4 classic line Smiths and love them. I still hope to add a model 57, which is 41 caliber. Thank you, Joe, I don't know all the model numbers, but I appreciate that. Now we know what a 57 is. Someday, although there are several guns ahead of my wish list. Yes, I think we all have that nice wish list. Somebody said, Scotsman said 57 is on my list as well. I've seen a couple really nice ones over the years, but never had the cash at the time. Boy, that's a story of my life. That's cool. You know what, Dad? It's funny you mention that because I was thinking about for Christmas for myself or whatever. And speaking of dropping that kind of coinage, I'm gonna tell you this, and this is probably gonna surprise some people because of me being a collector and all that. But then again, Crazy Scotsman says, I told you, Scotsman, we're going to use this. White glove, nothing, shoot everything. I am really, really interested in getting a Smith & Wesson 29 Classic. Just because of the way it's built, they corrected some things over the years, and I wouldn't mind having a brand newly manufactured one that can run the rounds, shoot some moderate magnums if I want to. And I always kind of wanted to just have that ability without wearing out or destroying something historical. But always just kind of wanted. I guess there's something in me that wants to experience also that, like, for example, my generation here, whatever you want to call it, being a 40-year-old and all this, getting the opportunity to see the Colt Python as a catalog item and buying a brand new Colt Python, wiping the grease off it, throwing the rounds in there, taking it to the range and enjoying it. I guess there's something with me about doing that. And then so that's what that Smith Classic line for me does. It's like, hey, look, I bought a brand new 29 and ran rounds, and then when I'm dead and gone, the people, that are going to be, in that generation, they're going to be like, wow, look at this, they're going to be clamoring over that. Remember, look at this classic. They're going to be talking about these things that I had. Like I'm talking about the things that all those, the wonderful people that got to really live the heyday of stuff, the 60s, 70s, just the awesomeness of all those really cool, like, stuff out there. Like I sit there and look and go, why did they chop this model, the Series 70 Mark IV up and do this and this and that to it? Well, because at the time they were all over the place. You go to any local shop and just be like, hey, order me one, or hey, they got 7 of them in stock and whatnot. So it didn't matter to take one and like draw something out or alter something like that. So not saying that I want to grab one of these classic lines and hack the barrel off or something like that, but just that idea of just being able to be part of that and just be like, hey, it's a catalog item. I got to enjoy it, have it, and shoot. And you know what? And like I said, I mean, the new stuff doesn't bother me. I'm not a freak out over the key lock or something like that. Do I wish it wasn't there? Yeah, absolutely. I think it's horrible. I think it's, but it's not to the point where it's like, it's a deal breaker for me. Like I'll never buy one because I've had them. It didn't bother me. It just so happens I don't have one right now. But doesn't bother me at all. I don't care. It is what it is. It's there. It doesn't really bother me. Grips are a little thin. The stock grips that they offer with these Smiths and stuff are a little thin. But that's not to say that you can't just go on to Amazon or whatever and actually purchase some overseas made grips that are made really well and just tack them on there. Boom, done. It's like it takes care of that whole thing. So anyway, that's my thought on the classic line Smiths. I like them. In fact, I really want one of those new Model 19s with a 4-inch barrel. I want to try it. I know everybody's like, oh, but it's got the sleeve barrel. But you know what? I mean, I still want one. I still want to check it out because I think it's going to hold up really well. All right. Hey, Edward Petty. Edward, where have you been, my friend? Edward, in the picture on my coffee cup is my friend Cody. This was a coffee cup that is almost 10 years old. Can you believe that? This thing is 9 years old in the making. That's how long I've had this coffee cup that was sent to me by Joe. And there's my friend Cody in the picture. This is our hangout video that we used to do. Is the Daytona hat that I got from you, Edward. We still have some of those items in storage in boxes somewhere. But he's wearing that hat. We appreciated that. Great deal. All right. Hey, Bat Jack, it's been a while. Yes, it has. Love your stories concerning the island. That is a nice 22. Take care. Appreciate that. We always like seeing you guys come back around. I understand life takes over. Gosh, God, Lord knows my life is so busy right now. I wish that I, could watch all the fellow YouTube friends of mine and all your videos. I know. I'm sorry. I don't get them all. I don't catch them all because I'm busy and, I get it. It's just the way it goes. All right. But this one's from Crazy Scotsman. CZ just does things right. Yes, absolutely. They make nice stuff. I have not found one I have shot yet that I didn't like. Yes. Haters, like you said, hate because they cannot rake someone over the coals with the cash. That's right. That's what my big argument. Be careful of all those things you're hearing about that new Python, because a great deal of those haters are because of the fact that they're upset that they can't get you for $4,000 for one of those things now. You know what? And I always said this, like, this is my comeback to all that. If you want one of the old ones, you couldn't have picked a better time to want one, because I've literally seen them for sale for under $2,000 now. I literally thought it was like a record-breaking thing, because I haven't seen that since I first bought one years and years ago. I can't believe that. I'm even thinking about that, how many years ago that was. Now I'm like, wait a minute, now I'm one of those people. It was $1,700, so so anyway, take that in stride. That's what we're talking about there. The purists who think they should never change, change is inevitable. Yes. To me, the Python, the new Python, the 2020 Python, did it change so much that it's like, oh my God, like it's no, it didn't. In fact, it's like pretty much the identical gun, only better, in my opinion. I love it. I love that new Python I have. It's definitely one of my favorites. Uh, Love it. Absolutely love it. I wouldn't trade it for an old one. Nowhere near where how. I wouldn't trade it. The only way I would trade it is if I could sell the old one and buy two new Pythons. But you can't do that anymore. You just you can't get that kind of money for them anymore. All right. The time spent with your uncle is priceless. Pigs are a different beast than hunting game. Yes, 22s are always hit and miss. Usually it's the ammunition related. That's why, yeah, that's a really good pointer, folks. Ammunition related with 22s is huge. Definitely pack on board in your arsenal a few different brands, and it's very easy to acquire at least 2 to 3 different brands. I always try to roll with 3 different ones because then that way you're really kind of giving the full spectrum of flavor. And if you're like me and just had nothing but bad luck. All right, recently picked up 1,000 rounds of Browning 22s, and so far it didn't run well. All I can see why is all I can say is see is why it was on sale, right? They're always going to sell you the junk. um, Nice pickup. I would like to add one or find a classic 22. Wasn't a pickup, but it wasn't mine. But anyway, one of these days, hopefully the newer one works out well for you. I have not tempted fate again, my friend. I just was not willing to tempt fate again. Maybe one day I will, but not right now. TOT, are you a night owl like me, or are you just post this video? Or you just posted this video? The videos are pre-set up to release on a certain time frame. That's how we get them out on a uniform time, early morning for everybody in the Saturday mornings. So if you're watching this anyway, so like I said, we pre-tape the program during the week, and then we get it all set and ready to go, and then it is set and scheduled on the channel to be released during the time of when we need it to go up there. So it's always at the time. But no, I do not stay up and try to sit there and push the button. No, everything is pre-done. It's like a late night television taping show, I guess, whatever. It's always pre-done. So I guess it's like old Saturday Night Live. I think, what did they film it throughout the week or something? I forget. All right, this one here is from Chuck. Do you ever sell any of those orange grip blanks, or some to fit a Ruger XR3 red grip frame? Thanks. Assuming you're talking about like the grips. I did once sell grips. I don't have any blanks. I did once sell the grips with the help of some other people that were helping. That we did once offer them on Amazon, or not Amazon, eBay or something like that. It was more or less just to get them out there, not to make money. But I'm not computer savvy enough to do it all. I did have help when we did the sales and stuff like that. But no, unfortunately, right now I don't have anything like that out or available. I don't make grips. Like during that whole stint when we were doing that, I tell you, I made so many grips. I've never made that many in that short a time ever, and it does take some time and effort to sit there and mix up that much batches of grips and stuff. I just haven't made any grips for a while. I haven't tinkered around with that for a while now, so I'm sorry. I don't know if there was some way I could figure out how to offer stuff like that, and figure out how to, because unfortunately the nature behind it, I'd have to charge something just to keep it, the cost of materials and time and shipping and all that. But I really don't know how to go about doing it. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to use the Amazon or eBay or the computer websites. I'm not smart enough to do all that. TOT, he says he's first. Yes, first. All right, there we go. There's your comments and everything. So the other thing I wanted to talk about real quick is, somebody asked me 1911 question that was asked to me, and it was like, hey, because they want a shooter, one to take to the range, and guess I always just chalk it up to the tactical aspect of things, which I'm not. I'm a collector. I very, very few things that I bought in the mentality of it being a range something. But this one here, the Springfield Ronin, is my range shooter, not a collector's item. So this is my Ronin, 9mm commander. I mostly the 1911s I like as far as shooting is 9. Although the old school Colt 45 will always be near and dear to me. I had something added on this thing, something different I thought was really cool. A friend of mine is a jeweler. He's been a jeweler for like 40 years. Really awesome. Uh, he did this for me. He put in a 14 karat gold. He made this rod. He pulled and shaped a rod out for me and replaced my fiber optic sight with a gold bead front sight, basically, which is something I always wanted. That's an old throwback to the old days, and I tell you, man, I love it. That thing is it's like that is exactly what I had in mind. I just wasn't able to ever put it to a reality, and thanks to my good friend there, he did that, make it a reality for me. So that is just super cool. I love it. But anyway, yeah, this is one that you could say it's got all the modern touches and features that have on there. And I guess that question was like, what do I like on them, or what would I choose, or all that kind of stuff. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess in this aspect, most people, you would want what is known as the high ride grip safety, which I actually, for me, I like the old school, grip safety. Yeah, I just like, this is an old Colt government model. This is a commercial model. This is just something very much like this. If I only could have one, I'd have to have something like this, because this is just my all-time favorite. This is an old school Colt government model, commercial model that they had from yesteryear. Really good stuff. Really, really awesome stuff. These things just don't come around as much as I'd like them to. But I was very blessed to be able to have that in my collection. Some of the upgrade stuff, you got the gold cup. Yeah, I brought out a gold cup, even though it's not really a favorite of mine, but I do like some of the touches, like the flat top. I thought that's pretty neat. Even goes back to even the gold cups, the flat top, the Ellison rear sight. Again, still sticking with the old, grip safety from the government models. I have no problem with that. In fact, that's my favorite kind of configuration. But this, I guess you could say for me, is like kind of it's souped up for me, but I still like it. Angled serrations, wider trigger that's on the gold cups. I do like, everybody knows me that I don't like the diamond cuts on the grips. I like the full checkered ones. These are nice with the medallion, the Colt medallion, add a little bling to it. But yeah, that's the old gold cup, and everything. So I like that. So this is kind of like where my kind of heart is at. But something like this, this is about as high tech as it got for me. Lightweight frame. It's got the up scoop grip safety beaver tail. I even added on mine, because it's a lightweight frame, I added the polymer mainspring housing on it. I took out the other one. Normally I like the arch. Notice on those two have the arch. But this one, I didn't have an arched polymer one. But I did have an arched or a flat polymer one, which is basically, I did that for sheer weight, to keep the weight down on this thing. But yeah, this is my blaster. But yeah, I was kind of like, and it's like, the question to me was like, hey, but if you weren't a collector, what would you choose? And I'm like, well, that's kind of hard, because that's actually, I don't know. I've never really dabbled into that kind of realm. It's like I've always just been the collector. But then again, still, like, both these I've shot. I'll shoot them. I'll still shoot the commercial gun. Again, like Scotsman says, I told you, Scotsman, we're going to be using that, man. White glove, nothing. Shoot everything. I enjoy it. I enjoy taking them out to the range. I'm not, have no fear about doing so. Like this one here, this gold cup, it's got a wear spot there. The rear sight's got some wear on it, like that. I've shot it. I've definitely taken it out and enjoyed it. I'm not going to shy away from that. It's just not something I'm going to do. even that one, as old as that thing is, I'll still take it out and enjoy it and shoot it. Still need to. In fact, I should do it in a celebration of something coming up here or something like that. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Hopefully, you guys enjoy your weekend and everything. Also, I don't know. What do you guys think? I have not splurged really on myself too much at all, and I don't want to. Most of the stuff I did acquire, I acquired it through trading things out. Unfortunately, I've ran out of things to trade, ran out of things. I'm heartbroken of all the things I don't have anymore. But I had to do what I had to do to get things that I wanted at the time that now I'm kind of like holding on to the things I got. I'm like, I don't want to let this go. I don't want to let this go. I let go of Colt Woodsman not too long ago. I'm still haven't recovered from that. But anyway, should I splurge and get the 29 Classic for my Christmas present to myself? What do you guys think? I really want one. Always wanted one. I don't know.